Richard Neville, Earl of Warwick. You join us here at Warwick Castle in the year 1471, and these are dark and troubled times. England is at war, but she fights with herself, brother against brother, father against son, in a wicked civil war that you will call the Wars of the Roses. The battle between the House of York and the House of Lancaster, each trying to put their man on the throne of England. In 1471, I align my forces with the Lancastrian cause. We support Henry VI, and tomorrow we march upon London to take the Yorkist King Edward from the throne of England and replace him with Henry. We intend to attack the capital. For this, we will need cannon. We will need siege machines, but most of all, we will need that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, one of the biggest and most powerful siege engines in the world. The Warwick Castle Trebuchet! Yes, at 18 metres tall and over 22 tons in weight, it is one of the biggest and most powerful. And for 1471, the very latest in technology. Look, it's got wheels inside the machine. What are they for? I will tell you. Traditionally, you load a trebuchet by pulling down the throwing arm and lifting the counterweight using beasts of burden, horses and oxen. It's always been done that way, and to be honest, it's always worked. But a couple of niggling problems with that system. If you take horses and oxen to war with you, you tie up a percentage of your troops just looking after the animals. Men that you can't really spare. Also, your enemy will be trying to cut off your supply train. If they succeed, you have a major problem. Hungry soldiers aren't reasonable people. They will either rise up against you or just disappear into the night. You can't let that happen. So they end up eating the horses and the oxen. So how then do you load your trebuchet? But somebody somewhere had a brilliant idea. A way we could use our men. How? The medieval crane. The cranes that helped us build our castles. Ingeniously simple, just huge wheels that men walk inside. So you take two crane wheels and you put them inside the trebuchet. The two wheels are linked by a central axle. Take 4 men, put 2 in each wheel and get them to walk that way. A rope attached to the throwing arm goes down through a pulley and then up to the central axle. There it is tied on. The men's walking action tightens the rope around the axle, pulling down the arm and lifting the counterweight. The huge wooden box you see in the middle of the machine, that box and its contents weighs just over 5 tons. So you've just witnessed 4 people lift that incredible weight just through their labour. Amazing. What a feat of engineering. Well, it is, but walking a trebuchet wheel is still reckoned to be one of the worst jobs in history. The arm is down. It is locked down by a trigger which is pushed through a metal hoop on the arm. That's the release mechanism. Below the trigger, the trebuchet master's pushing a steel pin, so you can't pull the trigger until you take the pin out. It's for safety. And just to be doubly safe, she's locked on a chain as well. So the shooting sequence will be, remove the chain, pull out the pin, and then you can pull that trigger. Right, it's back into the wheels and walk the other way. Why? To get rid of the rope, the one that is now tight around the axle. So, don't walk that way, turn round and go that way. And that's exactly what they're doing now. They are winding that rope off. Now this machine is capable of shooting a 150 kilo rock, well over 300 pounds. We don't do that on a regular basis, because if we did, we would destroy the end of this beautiful island in days. We tend to shoot something around 20 kilos. But rocks out of trebuchets, why would you do that? You shoot rocks out of trebuchets to destroy walls. Fine, but a bit of a waste of an incredibly versatile weapon. If you're going to throw rocks, then you select a section of a city wall or a castle wall. You've probably got somewhere between 80 and 120 trebuchets. Concentrate all your shooting power on one spot on the wall and blast it open. That's going to take hours, if not days. You then, of course, have to fight your way in. So, it's going to cost lives. It's going to take time. And what if you succeed? What do you end up with? You end up with a fortress with a huge hole in its wall. How do you then defend it against the inevitable counter-attack? No. Always better to take it with its outer wall intact. And that's where these things come in very handy. You see, if you can put it into the machine, you can shoot it. So ignore the walls. Why don't we try a psychological approach? If you have prisoners, cut off their heads, load their heads into baskets and throw them over the wall, warning the people inside what will happen to them if they don't surrender. You can fight a dirty war, empty all the trees in the area, find dead and rotting animals, load them into your trebuchets and throw that in as well, spreading disease. Or there's the ultimate, and that is fire. Now I know a castle is made of stone. Stone doesn't burn. But most of its internal buildings are made out of timber, most of them with thatched roofs. Set the whole lot alight. They'll soon surrender. So, this afternoon, we would like to show you what that looks like. Out of this trebuchet, we are going to shoot a fireball! 18-kilo rock, which has been wrapped in sacking all afternoon and soaked in fuel. It can't go in the sling because of the setting alight, so within the rock is set a ring. A chain to the ring, a rope to the chain. Hook it onto the end of the arm and launch the entire thing. Comes out of the fuel mixture, onto the trough and on to the hook. The loader is ordered out of the way. The trebuchet master makes her safety checks. Is she happy with the siege engine? Has anybody or anything wandered onto the shooting range? All clear, she steps up and takes off those all-important safeties. First of all, she removes the chain. Then gently draws the pin from below the trigger, making the machine live. Steps down, takes the rope which is attached to the trigger and orders the lighting of the projectile, which is add fire. The projectile is torched and begins to burn in the middle of the trebuchet. Now she must hold a nerve. Pull the trigger too soon, it goes too late, and the trebuchet is on fire. So she holds. And she holds. We launch! Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen, the Warwick Castle Trebuchet! Now it has to be said, that is not achieved without an awful lot of hard work. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to fill your lungs and I want you to give the biggest cheer you possibly can for the crew! Fantastic, gets me every single time. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, Warwick Castle is Britain's ultimate castle. We hope you've enjoyed your day. Tell all your friends, come and see us again. And thank you so much for watching the Trebuchet. Thank you!